All right, guys, let's do this. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. This is the iHeartRadio Countdown. Tinashe, I don't know when the last time I saw you in person was.
It's been a while.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you.
I feel like I've known you for kind of forever.
Kind of forever.
And every time I see you, whether Instagram, wherever, I'm just so impressed with what you've done.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much. You know what? I feel like you were like the first radio interview I maybe ever did in my life.
Really?
Maybe.
Wow, that was with the
Stunners. Yeah, I was probably like 15.
That is, I mean,
that's crazy.
The word, the name, the Stunners.
Yes.
It means I don't know. Do your fans? Do they know
Some
a lot
of them
about the
do.
Stunners?
Some know the lore. Some know the lore. Some of the new fans probably don't, but there's a good amount of them who know the Stunners.
How's the family doing?
The family is amazing. Everyone's great. My parents are great. My brothers are great. I can't complain. My cat's great. Everyone's great.
I followed your mom for years.
Oh, really?
She seems so, just proud.
Oh, yeah. She's so proud. And she was so excited that I'm here. She's like, oh, my God, you're doing an interview with JoJo?
Oh.
Like, yep.
Does she go on tour, or will she go on tour with you? This
when she can. I think my parents, they both have their separate respective careers, but whenever they have the opportunity, they love to come with me, travel wherever they can go. So they'll probably spend a few days on the tour bus. I wouldn't be surprised.
Next time you come in, let's bring mom, dad, whoever. Yeah, let's family thing. Let's do
sounds
it.
good.
Tinashe,
hey.
New album. It's officially out. Quantum Baby.
Woohoo!
Why the title? Give me a little backstory on all that.
I wanted to kind of just explore the paradox, like on the super, super core level of who I am, and I feel like that kind of relates to the quantum paradox. I love like watching like nerdy videos on YouTube and stuff. Love like I'm deep into the lore, so that's kind of why I wanted to name the album that, and I thought it just sounded really cool.
How would you describe the album? Like just the vibe of the album?
Yeah.
For people who haven't heard it already.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of genre hops, which is something that I love to do. I feel like I don't sit in like one particular place. I love to experience or experiment with drum and bass. I love to experiment with R&B, with pop, with tempo, with slow songs, with fast songs. So this album really encompasses like all the different vibes and styles that I love.
And you're so good live when you record or when you put songs on an album, whatever, all that. Do you kind of think, how would this look on tour?
I'm always thinking about the show and how I'm going to be dancing to a record. Like dance is a huge part of what I do on stage, and I just love the performance aspect. So even when we're like in the studio on day one, I'm thinking, what's the tempo? How am I going to dance to this? How am I going to move? What's this going to look like on stage? So that's exciting.
All right, final question on the album for now. And there's a reason I'm asking this. What song almost didn't make the album? And the reason I ask that is, a lot of times, and I don't know why this is, but a lot of times that song,
is
the one.
Yeah, that's kind of ironic, isn't it?
It's like somebody, like one of your friends said, hey, you should put that song. You're like, I don't know. And it turns into something. What song would that be on this album?
Honestly, it's a song called No Broke Boys, which is a fun one. But that one, I was hesitant about it for a while, but then kind of like I just had to go back to work on it. Sometimes I think when you're unsure about a song, you just got to go in the studio and like put more sauce on it. So I went back in, we redid some of the drums. I added some of my friends to the tracks. Like there's like a girl gang vocal in it, and it feels real fun, and like it always makes me laugh when I listen to it because I can hear my friends like giggling on the track, and like that's good vibes. So I was like, yeah, we need it. Okay,
I'm going to be paying attention to that song as the album lives, So we'll see if this theory is correct.
We'll see.
True or false? I read this, and maybe this is true. You knew Nasty was going to be big when I think it was fans in China. They heard it, and like in a blink, they knew the choreo, they knew the words. Give me that. Talk about that.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, going so far away from home and seeing people, especially people who English is not their first language, singing the lyrics to every single phrase of that song, I was like, okay, this is different. This is connecting with people on a different level. So that was a very good feeling. Yeah.
My daughter is a huge K-pop fan as well.
Yeah.
And she sings, she can't speak Korean, but she will sing everything just like they did to you. She'll sing everything in Korean. It's love.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hey, when fans see you in the wild, as they say, you're walking around the mall or wherever, I don't know. What do they usually come up to you and say? Or do they just roll up and scream?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on, I think, where I'm at and like what the vibe is. Like if I'm in the mall, probably people are just going to be like, I love you. But like recently a lot of people have been like saying like, I can match your freak. Like people have been throwing in the nasty references, which is like kind of fun and cool.
What do you have any cool like crazy interesting, funny fan encounters?
I mean, luckily most of my fans are super respectful, so they're like very nice, and like no one's ever like super crazy. But I mean, I feel like I just get a lot of like really nice gifts and random things from fans, which is so cool.
Selfie in the bathroom request, you don't get that?
No, luckily, no.
Oh man, I've heard some crazy stuff. Tour. Match My Freak tour. I think it's kicking off October in Anaheim. That's the first date, I believe.
Yep.
Well, the obvious question: are you excited? How excited for you? Because you love live.
I'm so excited. I love playing a live show. I'm going to make a whole new show, whole new experience for my fans. So if you've seen a show before, don't worry. Come to this one because it's going to be different. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fresh. I'm super hyped to play the Greek here in LA too because I've just never played that venue before, and it's one of my favorite venues. So that's going to be sick. So make sure y'all grab your ticket.
Yeah, if you're in LA, let's go.
Let's go.
This countdown, national countdown. We're sitting here in Burbank as we speak. But any other venues around the country that, oh my God, like I want to play this place? Give me a couple of those.
I'm excited. I'm playing a venue in Brooklyn that I've never played before. That's going to be exciting. I've honestly upgraded a lot of my venues this year. So like the venue I'm playing in DC is like 6,000 people. It's just like a way bigger tour than I've done in the past. So a lot of these venues I've never played before. So it's very exciting.
Final question on touring. Do you love road life? I know you love being on stage, clearly, but some people love the structure of it because you have to get up at a certain time. You're doing press, and then there's sound check and fan meets, but some people, here's what I've really found. When you're on the road, you want to be home. When you're at home, you want to be on the road.
Of course.
Where do you fall on that?
I feel like I love touring, but you can reach a point where you're like, okay, that's enough. I think that's usually what people complain about is because they've been like touring for like 8 months, 9 months. Like that, that's going to wear you down. You want to go home at that point. But, that initial first like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, I think this tour is like something like 8 weeks or something like that. That's like perfect. That's a sweet spot. I'm going to be having fun. Energy is going to be high still. It's just, and it's really cool. I love getting on the bus. Like I love the tour bus vibe too.
And I think you can, I can't. I think I could sleep really well.
Oh yeah. It kind of like rocks you to sleep like a little baby.
The best. Hey, the video. Oh man, give me some cool stories from shooting this video.
So we shot the video for Nasty in the desert. So we had to drive like a couple hours out to the middle of nowhere. And it was actually freezing, which I think is ironic because people see a desert, they assume it was a hot day. But it was so cold. It was bitterly cold and it was raining on and off throughout the day. So I'm wearing these tiny little shorts and I was just like, every time before the scene, I'd have to be like, okay, don't look cold. Don't look cold. Don't look cold. Yeah.
See, I've done a couple of things. We shot some crazy thing back in the day in the desert, and I think it was in the city of, Lancaster here in Southern California.
Yep.
And it is butt crack cold. And you have to act like, of course, in this video, you're super hot, you're sexy, you're choreo, and you're just freezing.
Freezing.
All right.
So that's something people wouldn't know.
and would you get like, I assume you got all dirty because you're on the ground doing some of the choreo. Mm-hmm. Are you filthy at the end of this day?
Filthy. And it's not like we had like a nice, like, green room to like get cleaned up and change. And like we had rented out some like crazy looking house set in the middle of nowhere, so like the ground was like covered in dirt, and there was like one of the rooms that was supposed to be my green room, the woman who like owned the place was like, I'm just sweeping up some dead mouse poop. I was like, oh my gosh, where are we? But you do it for the art, you do it for the video.
Gotta love that. Oh my God. When you watch the video, just know that.
Just know.
Nasty. Hey. Oh my God. This song has just, you've had a lot of great tracks, but this one is just,
so exciting.
What? Give me something on Nasty that maybe we don't know.
Okay. I wrote this song as a freestyle. That's something that was really fun. I was just kind of recording myself, just vibing and just trying to come up with phrases, and immediately I came up with, is somebody gonna match my freak? And then I've been a nasty girl. Like it just kind of came to me at one morning. It was very effortless. It was very easy. And that's that. I think a lot of my best songs are the ones that just kind of feel effortless,
I've heard that like when songs, some songs take more work. I get it. But when the songs, it's almost like you didn't write it.
Yeah.
Like it came from above.
It was like a download from the universe. Yeah. I was just like blessed with this information, this great idea. So yeah, you don't overthink it. You just put it down, record it, and voila. And
by the way, I'm not insinuating you didn't write it. I mean, like it came from like God,
Yes.
God wrote Nasty, basically.
Basically. I mean, wow. All right, good job.
Tinashe, two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you consider, and of all the performances you've done, what do you consider your best live performance ever? I mean, it was just about perfect. Then the complete flip of that.
Okay.
What do you consider the worst? It happens to everyone.
It does.
I mean, everything went straight to hell. So perfection, straight to hell.
Okay. My best live performance. I feel like I've had some good ones on like Good Morning America. I feel like I did one for my song All Hands on Deck on Good Morning America. That was like 10 out of 10. Perfect execution. I loved that one. The one that sticks out in my mind of like the worst recently was, I think I had a show at Harvard, and it was like, first of all, on the way to the show, the airline lost the luggage, so we had no outfits. So we had to go to the mall and like, it wasn't a great mall, and like try to buy everyone outfits for the show. Then like the sound system sounded crazy, and I think I was sick. I believe I was also sick. There's just so many things. It was like one of those days where I was like, everything is going wrong.
You're visiting no offense to Harvard,
but actually, that reminds me of, I'll change my answer on the best one. My best performance was at Coachella, because I loved Coachella. And this was like a week before my Coachella performance. So I remember thinking, I was like, this is the bad performance that is going to set us up for the great performance next week.
God, your Coachella, forget it.
It was so fun.
Tinashe, true or false? You are a major perfectionist.
Oh yeah.
Is that good or bad?
It can be bad, but I think it's mostly good. I've used it for good. Yeah, I think I'm constantly just trying to push myself and get to like another level, and it makes me want to work harder. It makes me want to refine my craft even more. I think there's obviously times where perfectionism can be toxic. I think not allowing yourself to take it to a toxic place where you shame yourself or you're overly critical of yourself. It's allowing yourself to make mistakes while still being, focused on improvement. So.
Yeah, I've talked to some artists, and I think it was, one comes to Coldplay.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Chris. I forget which member told me this. Forgive me, Coldplay. But one of the guys said after they put a song out, he can't listen to it.
Oh, really?
Because
he starts thinking of ways to fix it.
Yeah, like, why didn't I put this there? Why is that too high, or why is that too low? Clearly, that's when it gets a little like nutty. You're like, oh my
totally.
God.
You have to be able to step away from your art once you give it to the world,
Right.
But I definitely understand, what the perfectionist in me understands the tendency to kind of always be self-reflecting and being like, I could have done this better.
Fair point, man. You might know this about me. I think, although I haven't seen you in a minute, I am obsessed with the paranormal.
Oh, I remember.
Yes. Haunted houses, ghosts, all that stuff. I've got a podcast called Paranormalish. I think I've heard that you've had some, like, I want to say you stayed at some 13th or visited some 13th century castle.
I did. I went ghost hunting there.
What happened?
I found so I knew that the castle was super old, right? And I am also a big fan of the paranormal, but I'd never been on an actual ghost hunt before. So I was like, this is the opportunity.
Where was the castle at?
It was somewhere in Europe.
Oh, it's old then, right?
In the middle of nowhere, like deep in Europe. So I had this like flash digital camera. I was like, this is perfect. We're going to, take some flash pictures, see if we can catch any orbs. I'm telling you, we caught like 100 orbs. 100 orbs. And we caught like blue orbs. We caught colorful things. There was no light in any of the places that we were taking. There was no bugs. It was none of the things that people be using to debunk what was on the screen. So I think
a little something was.
I think we caught some evidence.
My challenge to you. By the way, I want to go on a ghost hunt with you someday.
Let's do it.
I would love that. My challenge to you. This tour's coming up, obviously, and some of these you probably have the tour booked. Hotels and all.
Oh my gosh.
So a lot of these hotels, without you even knowing, I guarantee probably at least half of them have a story, have a history. Don't stay in room B340.
Totally.
Look out for the 7th.
Or venues, also concert venues.
Yes.
Because apparently people talk about, like, a lot of times ghosts like to hang out.
I got one for you. Okay, I got two things for you. First of all, one of these hotels request a haunted room, stay there, and then come back and talk about what happened.
Okay.
Second thing is, if you're doing Milwaukee, I haven't seen your
I was gonna say
the rave. Okay,
I was going to mention that because I went to that venue, and I also went on I guess sort of a ghost hunt. Like down in the basement, there's these crazy rooms, and then there's this big empty pool in the basement. I've been there, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Let me tell you one story. We did a podcast on this, and I'm curious if you could investigate this.
Yeah.
The green room, when you or dressing room, whatever you call it. The group AJR told me, they said they went into their dressing room, and to my understanding, one entrance, one in, one out. There's no way you can get in. So they look in, nothing's in there, it looks normal, whatever.
Yeah.
Shut the door, have a conversation in the hallway about 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds. Open it back up, and the chairs are stacked up.
That is crazy.
Will you check that out for me?
That is crazy. Yes, I have to go back. I have to go back to the rave, but I've been there as well, and it's so crazy. And Mac Miller like wrote something on the wall of the pool.
Oh, whoa.
Which is like so.
That's another level.
It says like I am alive and now I am dead or something. It's like what?
Oh, wow.
It's so bizarre. Yes. The lore of that place is deep.
All right.
The rave Milwaukee.
Maybe I'll just fly to come see your show in Milwaukee. Tinashe,
hey.
I've known you forever since we talked earlier, since the Stunners.
Yes.
We've known each other for a while.
A long time.
I had no idea that you're the girl in the movie Polar Express.
It's true.
Shut the hell up. I've watched that movie it's like one of my go-tos I think it came out in 2004.
I think 2005.
Like, okay, 5?
A long time ago.
Yeah, and I've been watching it you're the girl in the movie.
That I am she.
what give me anything on that?
Yeah. I was probably like 8 years old when we filmed that movie, so It was a long time ago, but I remember, it was one of the early days of motion capture. So we had to wear these like crazy bodysuits with like all these electrodes on us every day, like a headpiece. And we had to film the set. Like we didn't use an actual set because it was animated and they were using just like this technology. So all the sets were made out of wire. So It was a very interesting experience acting in something that didn't feel real. Like like we were playing pretend so much. We had to pretend the walls were there. We had to pretend the floor was there. Like they'd built this train set out of wire, I guess, so it wouldn't interfere with like the electrodes and things like that, I guess.
So I thought it was just a voiceover.
No, it was. I was doing the motion capture. So we had to act out the entire film for like 10 weeks. Me and Tom Hanks. It was so fun. It was really, really cool.
Now, do people, when people find that out, I'm guessing a lot of people are like me, they don't they haven't done that up. Do people freak out just like I did? Like, oh my God, you're the Polar Express.
But I've also done so many like cool things when I was young too. Like just random, like I was on Rocket Power or I was on like Avatar: The Last Airbender. So when people find out like all these random things that I did, voice acting. But I was also young. I did a lot of random acting things when I was young.
Is the look on my face just like this shocked, crazy, like, I don't know, I'm sure I'm...
I said, the lore goes deep.
Have you ever you've met and worked with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Have you ever been starstruck?
Yes, 2
times. Like you
times.
said Tom Hanks.
Two times.
Okay.
One was recently, I met Janet Jackson for the first time.
Whoa.
Huge. Very, very cool. She's like one of my top idols. And then the second time was when I worked with Britney Spears.
Oh my God.
And we actually filmed a whole music video together. So we were in dance rehearsal when I first met her. And I was gagging the entire time. I was like, play it cool, play it cool, play it cool. But I was like, a very surreal moment.
There's some story about her pronouncing your name wrong at one point?
Oh my gosh. Well, we performed it we had a collaboration together called Slumber Party.
Right.
We performed it a couple times at her Vegas residency, and both times she would be like, "Give it up for Tinashe," and I was like, "No, Britney, that's not how you say it."
Oh,
but I was just so happy to be there that I'm just cheesing. I'm like, "Yeah."
You get such cool stories, Tinashe.
So cool.
Before I play number one, message to your fans. We're talking the day ones to the new ones. I mean, you're gonna get. I mean, obviously your fan base is growing constantly.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to all these people?
I mean, I appreciate so much how everyone's really been riding for me through the ups and downs. It's been such a journey. I've been, through so many different chapters of my career, and I just really, really appreciate, like you said, people who have been there from day one, and also everyone who's just like getting hip now. And I feel like there's so much stuff that they can look at. There's so many videos, there's so many albums, there's so much content that I've put out there. So I'm just excited to continue to create.
I feel like you're one of the artists that, and I'm sure you've collabed with people. You've got, good people, smart people on your team. But I feel like you're one of the artists that really control all or most of what you do, right?
It's so important to me. It's so important to me. I feel like I never really realized how important it would be to me until I wasn't as in control of all the things I wanted to do, when I felt like, I need my music to really speak from my perspective. I feel like authenticity is just so palpable.
Fans
and like
know.
The fans can tell the difference. So now that I'm really in charge of my creative, what the stage show looks like, what the videos look like, what songs I put out, when I drop songs, that just changes the game.
Tinashe, quick recap. Nasty, obviously, killing.
Thank
Congrats.
you.
Quantum Baby, this album, let's go. It's out.
It's out.
Tour, we got the tour, which is kicking off. What was it, October 14th in Anaheim? Check for dates. I mean, she's just going to fillet every arena she's in. What else do people need to know, Tinashe, about Tinashe?
Well, I mean, I feel like we've covered a lot. I will say this. This new album that I just put out, Quantum Baby, is part 2 of a 3-part album. So if people don't know, there's actually a part 1 that I put out last year, and then there's going to be a part 3 coming soon. So everyone can be excited about the fact that, this is just like a piece of the project, which is super exciting, I think, because people's attention spans are so short these days.
Right.
And it gives people the opportunity to like really sink their teeth into this. There's 8 songs on this project. So kind of just very succinct, and I'm excited for what's to come.
You're an album kind of girl, right?
I love albums.
Some artists, and there's no right or wrong, but some artists are more single-driven.
Yeah.
But some artists have, I guess, more of a story. I guess I want to tell a story, and the concept of, I guess you would call these concept albums, a 3-parter. I mean, that's just, I don't know, it's intense. And it's so
exciting.
Cool.
Yeah, I love giving. I just love the opportunity to like continue to create, and I feel like this has set it up perfectly where I get to drop 3 times.
All right. We're gonna go ghost hunting too, by the way, so we'll figure that out.
Let's do it.
All right, Tinashe, thank you for hanging out.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. At the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official. Give me a
Hey,
little
bye.